This year's fall equinox occurs on September 22. The Sun crossed the equator at the time of the equinox from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere. Roughly 12 hours of sunlight and 12 hours of darkness are seen during the equinox. As we near the official mark of autumn this week, shorts and flip-flops have been retired and sweaters are coming out of storage. Though meteorologists consider September 1 the start of fall for record-keeping purposes, the autumnal equinox signals the beginning of astronomical fall. This year, that happens this Friday afternoon, September 22. Equinox seems like a really complex term, but it's actually pretty simple. Here's a breakdown. 1. What is an equinox? Twice a year around March 20 or 21 and September 22 or 23, the sun's rays shine directly over Earth's equator. These days are known as the March equinox, vernal or spring equinox in the northern hemisphere, and the September, autumnal, equinox. 2. What happens during the autumnal equinox? During the autumnal equinox, day and night are balanced to about 12 hours each all over the world. Instead of the Earth tilting away from or toward the Sun, its axis of rotation becomes perpendicular to the line connecting the centers of the Earth and the Sun. This change in the tilt causes the change in seasons, with the northern hemisphere moving from the warmth of summer to the chill of winter, said Weather.com digital meteorologist Linda Lamb. This process includes a shift in the overall location of the jet stream, which plays an important role in weather conditions. From that point on, daylight in the northern hemisphere gradually becomes shorter up until the winter solstice. This is the opposite of what occurs in the southern hemisphere, where daylight won't grow any longer. The length of daylight will actually last a bit longer than 12 hours long during the equinox because of the way that sunlight is measured. Since we count sunrise as the time the first light directly from the sun crosses the horizon, and sunset is measured as the time the last light directly from the sun goes below the horizon, there is roughly 12 hours and 5 to 15 minutes of sunlight on the day of the equinox. The day that has exactly 12 hours of daylight is 2 to 5 days away from the equinox. 3. How can I tell the equinox is happening? In addition to seeing the leaves change and advertisements for pumpkin spice flavored everything, the equinox brings about temperature changes. Fall is a transition season, and in the US fall is usually characterized by large variations in temperatures, as well as an increase in low pressure systems bringing rain, storms and even snow across the country, said Lamb. Generally in the US after the fall equinox, temperatures continue to become colder and snow becomes more common. 4. What time will the equinox be where I live? Eastern Daylight Time, 4:02 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 3:02 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 2:02 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 1:02 p.m. For everywhere else around the world, convert your time here. More on weather.com. Fall-nomena. The weather company's primary journalistic mission is to report on breaking weather news, the environment and the importance of science to our lives. This story does not necessarily represent the position of our parent company, IBM.